Good morning. Welcome to Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker, joined by Keith Fustel. What a stellar day of racing to look ahead to. 6 stakes races,
Yeah.
10 races in total, 2 graded stakes event. I always ask if you're excited, but I think I can probably answer that one for
Oh,
you.
yeah. You got to get tied on. I'm telling you, I was doing a radio show with Frank Vespi a little earlier this morning and talking about the card all the way through. I honestly could not come up with any real major plays, so I think my plan of attack will be pick fours and pick fives this afternoon. Everybody has their own way of how they want to play the races, but I think today that may be the way you get your most value.
Well, let's have a look at
Yep.
the stakes races coming up. Here it is, Winter Sprint Fest Day. Like I said, headlined by those 2 historic graded stakes events, the General George, the Barbara Fritchie. Then we got the 3-year-olds in the Miracle Wood as well as in the White Country. Of course, we have the John B. Campbell and the Nellie Morse. It's bound to
Oh.
be an exciting day. We do have a couple of giveaways as well if you are attending. All you have to do is buy a program and look at what
How
you can
about
win.
that? I mean, look, lots of great prizes. I know we've got some younger people in one of the game room areas. I guess there might be a tournament going on. If you are watching this and you want to take a shot, play some races as well, go buy yourself a program. I mean, great prizes here, the giveaways this afternoon.
Yes, certainly want to take a chance with that one. I think I'm going to run down myself and buy a program.
Yeah.
But we have, aside from the 10 races carded today, we will be racing on Monday as well on President's Day. So do play with us again or come and join us. We are ready to go for you. And most of the people will be free. So we'll get the chance to say, hey, come and have a fun day out if you're willing to go or play with us. But we're going to talk about today here
All right.
first. Let's look at the current track conditions. We're kind of anticipated already yesterday. Beautiful fast main track to go on.
Yeah, I mean, track pretty much played honest. Horses kind of coming from all over the place yesterday. The theme, continues. So I haven't really picked up on any major biases. The times aren't a-blazing, but they're fine, and we'll see how it plays this afternoon. If I pick up anything, notice anything, I'll call down here to you guys on the set and give you a heads up. I'm sure you're certainly good enough to see that. But right now, I mean, this track has been playing fair.
Well, that's all that we're looking for, so
Yep.
that if we do have say a race that sets up for closes, you know that as long as they're good enough on the day, they'll be able to make
Sure,
up the
absolutely.
ground without too much trouble. Let's start with race number 1. We always commence the early pick 5 sequence there. It's a claiming 10 to 8,000, nominated 3 lifetime, 6.5 furlongs the distance. We're kind of different in here,
Yeah.
Keith. You landed on the number 3 Torch Carrier. I think she's going to be pouncing upon the leaders when they back up. I do feel like there's a couple of speedsters in here in terms of the number 1, Always Something. The number 6 is going to be forwardly placed possibly. And the number 7, of course, on the outside, Minnetonka is very fast.
Yeah, Minnetonka, certainly the horse to beat. Early money, 3 to 5. You're going to have to demand a little bit better than that if you're going to play her. We're going 6.5, which might push her limit. She's going to need a clean trip, relax a little bit around the turn. But I go for a couple prices. Torch Carrier with the bug. We've got a couple bugs now. They're picking up steam.
Yeah.
Maclovio, Enriquez. We got John Novello, Bryson Butterfly on the 2 that I'm going to use. So last time out, got going a little late, had to work through traffic. Was kind of claimed on a negative drop. I don't like that, but I think there's going to be enough flow in here. If the 1 breaks cleanly, she's going to keep the 7 entertained. Escape Fun has speed. Looking for somebody from just off the pace.
Yeah, no, I actually ended up using Fearless Lassie, who was on the pace last time out. But the race before that, when winning at the Nickel 11 at 2 lifetime, she actually just came from just off it. Now, I'm hoping that JD Acosta is going to take note of that. Don't get locked in too early with Minnetonka speeding forward. Maybe Fearless Lassie can kind of reverse form there. I use Minnetonka in second for, of course, Red Hot Barn in trainer Jerry Robb. 3 wins and a second from 4 runners yesterday. It's hard to go against momentum like that.
He's just on an absolute roll. It's like a freight train. You're going down. You can't stop it. Arlene Channing, though, best race she's ever run was kind of this setup, third off of a break. Again, shed some weight, gets Butterfly. He's not going to be scared to save ground because the 1's going to lead out of there if she doesn't stumble. She's pretty quick in her own right to contest the pace. So this is like one of the races. I'm going to take a flyer on two price horses up and down in the exactus.
Seems
Even
like
top and bottom.
Yeah, it seems a competitive field here. Race number 2 starts at early pick 4. How are you going to get some money for us today?
We're trying. Yeah, it's I think I have a $24 ticket today on the early pick four. There it is, too deep to get you started. Pascal Chant, Whirl and Curlin. We'll ride those two out in the first leg. Then we spread a little bit with 2, 3, 9, and 10 3-year-olds. The waiver maiden 25s. 6 furlongs, spreading a couple scratches in there. The 6 and 11, they were going to be long shots. Race 4, we narrowed down too deep. Luna Bell, 6-5. She might even be a little bit lower. Just deadly form right now for Hammy. And money's worth first time for Graham to rally into it. 5th race, we wrap it up with the 1, 5, and 9. That's your early pick four, $24.
Yeah, I love Luna Bell as well. But let's talk about race number 2, claiming 1,006 furlongs. The distance, I think we're just all aboard with Pascal Chant. Let's look back at his last race where he was able to continue finding, despite being on top of sharp fractions against Open Claimant Company. He came up actually after a decent break. He kind of scooted up on the inside. He managed to hold of My Sacred Place, who's reopposing in here, who sat a lovely trip. In terms of the claiming price, you say he's jumping up in here, but I think this field is similar to what he faced.
This is like a lateral move at
exactly.
best. And you really look about it. There's the hood on, took all the pressure. Now they didn't go too fast early, 23 and 3, and we thought he would go up towards the front end in this race, but he was able to take that pressure, kick away, and hold sway late. Finally broke that streak. I was kind of against him. He hadn't won at 6 rounds. He gets a field again. Look, if he breaks cleanly, he should just go ahead and go and try to control things. I know we always try to guess the pace, but it's going to be his race to lose up front. Stafford Dale, last 5 years in Maryland on the dirt, 11 for 34. That's 32%, with winners last out and running back for less than 10,000. There's your ROI, 278. Barn picking it back up. Yeah, Pascal Chant to the front. We'll see how far he goes. Whirl and Curlin, to me, is kind of the stranger. A deeper closer, usually a back class kind of horse.
Yeah.
But the barn, again, the power of Mohan right now. Everything he sends out is running big. So this horse could be a player from off the pace.
I got tied on with the Mohan Bond here as well with Whirling Curling. Race number 3, 6 furlong the distance here. Maiden claiming 25 to 20,000. And I actually have a price playing here on the number 9, Dathos, 10 to 1 morning live for trainer Cahill Lynch. Blinkers go on. Ran 1 length behind a next out winner, Mosefus, if I say that correctly. He ran a 64 buyer at maiden 40 level next time out. And Dathos was right there with him. He's very sharp. I think he's going to be able to lay close or hit the front early, and at a price he's very much worth a second look.
Second time gelding, gets a fast track. Blinkers go on. Lots of positives. This barn with this kind of layoff, second off of a break, is really, really good. Again, I think he's got the speed to be put into the race and stay around. Mosefus, you're right, came back and ran a big number. I'm going to use him. I'm going to key around the 2 a little bit as well. Howard's Rock. Maybe these 2 as your keys and your exactas, top and bottom, or your tries. Howard's Rock by Golden Lad. I went and watched that work at Timonium from the sale. Very sharp, 10 and 1. A lot of money for a Golden Lad, 70,000.
Yeah.
The mother was fast, kin to a couple winners. I think Howard's Rock with Toledo is going to be ready to go at first asking.
Yeah, I threw him in underneath because Golden Lad, 11% with 3-year-old first. Dam won second. None of the siblings won first, so they all took their time breaking their maiden. That put me off a little bit. Now, I know the power of Brittany Russell. I know she'll have him ready. Like you said, very sharp work, and they paid enough for him as well, but kind of taking that wait-and-see approach here. I keyed around Rumjar as well, who had a bit of a break, finds himself in a softer spot here than what he faced at Aqueduct in his last 2 starts back. He ran behind Script. Script came back to run 3rd in the Parks Juvenile Stakes and did well at first level optional claimers. I feel like Ramjar is just finding that easier spot for himself in here.
He's progressing, Yep. Okay.
I was gonna hurry along to the stakes event. We have 6 stakes races. I'm so excited about these. The first one is the Wide Country Stakes, 7 furlongs for the straight 3-year-old fillies. And look, all eyes are going to be on Luna Bell. Let's look back at that extra heat where she laid well off the pace. That is her style. Sharp, wide bid, and just poured it on.
Yeah, she just gets in the clear. And when she starts ramping things up, she kind of runs her own race there behind everybody else. So you're looking, is she really pace dependent? I don't think so. I mean, she was able to do it a couple races back, similar fashion. You know, not a huge field to deal with a lot of clutter today. She breaks from the rail. She may find herself, 7, 8 lengths out of it into the turn. But once she gets going, she just really levels off to a stride that's, for a 3-year-old filly right now, a sprinter, it's awfully strong. Look at this, just reaching and grabbing the track and widening away. Their speed signed on today. I mean, you've got Buff My Boots, the horse coming in from New York Sandy's Garden. They want to be forward, even beneath the star. So I think she's going to get a really nice setup this afternoon, and she just holds form. She gets it done at a short price.
I agree with you there. And I put Sandy's Garden in my exacta because she was trying to take them all the way into Franklin Square Stakes, but just got a little leg weary late. I think the only unfortunate part for her is that Beneath the Stars and Buff My Boots also have plenty of early talent and desire to get up the front. But I loved Sandy's Garden kind of getting back to what she showed on debut as well when winning that maiden special weight at Finger Lakes by like 20? Over 20 lengths. So clearly, that 72 buyer to me, and the fact that she ran another one is no fluke, and she has that kind of talent. So I'm a little bit worried about the pace flow in here, and I think that's the reason you use Money's Worth, who actually doesn't need to be on top of it.
Right. I've liked both of her starts. Her first two, very good. She had a little trouble in debut and really ramped it up. Lasix goes on, transitions into the Graham Motion barn. That's okay. I just think, again, this filly is going to be able to get the right kind of setup in here. She's lightly raced. She's going to take that next step this afternoon. I think she rallies into it, got the perfect rider, Forest Boys, to sit chilly, save some ground, and rally into it. But, again, this horse from New York, she better be tied on because Beneath the Stars is really fast, and Buff My Boots is pretty quick. And I like the way the 8 stayed on last time.
Yeah, I think this is, aside from when you're keying around Luna Bell, wide open underneath. I think Quali could actually jump off as well, second after a break. Dan was a grade 2 winner going long on the all-weather at Woodbine. And she was well held by Horatio when she hit the front. And I spoke with Justin Nixon, who's saying I think she just got a little bit leg wearing, kind of looking at everything. He would like her to come back from behind again like she did in that first start. And I think everything sets up in here for her to do just that.
No doubt, no doubt. She closed on the turf. She's not as fast as some of these horses early. Her best run is going to be taken in hand, settle well back. Hopefully things unfold to her liking up front. But, I mean, a quality road out of Rahimir, really well bred, can probably handle any surface. Yeah, she's kind of that, I've got to look for the prices to use underneath if I'm going to, go ahead and key around the one. But I'll probably play a box of those 3 horses to get you started. So if Luna Bell does have a little bit of a hiccup, we're protected.
Yeah, well, we'll see how she fares. I do hope she gets that third win in a row on board. Love Luna Bell, the way she's progressed and really found herself in the Hamilton Smith stable. Race number 5 is for 3-year-olds. Is the Miracle Wood here, 1 turn 1 mile. Do you have a video spotlight on a horse that both of us used in our exacta? That is the number 9 Conclusive for trainer Michael Trombetta. Like, he had the real draw, he hit the front, and he never looked back. Now, my question mark was a little bit, who did he really beat in there, though? I do think Nadagar is an upwards moving talent. He ran second. Wish Me Home was third in the Laurel Futurity on the turf, but no real stakes level runners, though. So I think this is the class test for Conclusive.
Source flash talent in debut. Didn't have the cleanest of trips at Colonial behind Mr. Jefferson, another Trombetta runner. He was competitive in a stake, I guess 3 races back on his page up in New York. But yeah, the blinkers went on. Was it the blinkers? Was it the mud? We don't know, but he ran well. He ran through the wire. Looked like he had something left. And again, we've got a shorter field in here, but again, I think he's going to be able to draft in, doesn't need to lead, and make a punch into it. He's got the stamina build up off of those routes.
Yeah, 3 significant scratches in here. A lot of hope. Friar Lawrence, Coastal Mission, who actually was my previous top selection, aren't lining up. And I landed on Majestic Frontier. Now, this is the next step up in grade for this runner for trainer Jerry Robb. 9-day turnaround. But he's been training like a beast, according to the connections. I saw him in the barn. He's full of himself, high energy, and he just put them away last time out. The Addison Poor had won with a 60 buyer on debut and was continuing to do well. And then Script, we just mentioned it before, was indeed third in the Parks Juvenile Stakes. So I feel like Majestic Frontier really stepped up his game. So I'm hoping that he can take like the next little reach here, because he'll have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing, he's coming back kind of quick. But, man, he got positioned pretty easily last time against that group. And I don't think that group, I think it matches up pretty well, to what he's going against today. Found the seam along the inside and dusted him. Yeah, wheeling right back with Jerry Robb. I think he's a user in here. The light bulb has gone on, and he is a different horse than what he was a couple months ago.
Absolutely. Yes, we'll take a quick break, but we'll be back with more stakes action.
I have been around horses my entire life. I love every bit of it. I love helping the babies along the way. I love helping the older horses be more comfortable in themselves. I love seeing the babies develop from babies to racehorses. I love being there when they put it all together, when they win or when they find what they're supposed to do.
Mile 16, the distance here for fillies and mares in race number 6, named after Preakness heroine Nellie Morse. And let's go straight into the horse that we have a video spotlight on.
Okay.
Aside from the fact that I also have a late pick 5.
There you go.
I shouldn't forget my own ticket now, should I? 3 deep in here because I respect Kiss the Girl. I think this is going to be setting up for a lovely Artful Splatter, Lonely Danger. But the 6, Miss Leslie, is the video spotlight I really wanted to talk about. This is a wide open affair. I go 2 deep here. The 1 and the 4 in the John B. Campbell, working on a dream, as well as Galerio, who's really found his stride for John Salzman Jr. Race number 8, I go 2 deep as well. I'm hoping that either Glass Ceiling or Jakarta are going to get the graded stakes victory in that race. And in race 9, this is not a typo. These are my picks. Courtmaker and the number 7 Air Token on the outside. I feel like everything's setting up for Air Token, but my heart is saying Courtmaker, this is going to be his day. Race number 10, we finish off 3 deep, 2, 5, and 6 in that nickel claimer there. $36 flat, late pick 5 ticket. You're of course welcome to add any horses as you see fit. Let's talk about the Nellie Morse in here and Miss Leslie, who I already highlighted as being one of the dangers of 2 starts ago. She was very, very wide throughout, but she wasn't letting up. She rolled along. She had to work for it late. Do you feel like the flow is setting up in her favor again here? She got the better of Artful Splatter, the better of Kiss the Girl. Both are reopposing here.
Yeah, they are. We'll see. This was a big run, and she's taken a lot of money. I've been a little bit shocked at how much money's been bet down on her, and she sustains. She likes Laurel. She's in top form. She's kind of, we can't compare her to Courtmaker a little bit, but the form and the numbers she's running consistently, very, very eerily similar, and she just grinds it out. She's going to have to stay in touch today. We'll see with these scratches. Will Artful Splatter just kind of try to run them off their feet early, then hit the brakes, and then try to re-brake? Interesting little race here, the Nellie Morse, but take nothing away from Miss Leslie's efforts. They've been super strong of late.
Yeah, I am fearful of your top pick here, Artful Splatter, who's really started to gear up to some of her best form to date, and looks to be the main speed in here. Yeah,
I mean, and she's had it before and gotten beat, but she's fooled us a little bit now. You always thought, well, wet track and things of that nature. She's handling any kind of surface. She's bringing a finish. I just think things are just going to be her way up front today. I know Golden Plume comes in from New York off of the 7/8 race. We'll see if she's able to kind of put a little pressure on her, say maybe leaving the 3/8. She does, well, maybe all bets are off, but I like the form she's holding. She gets a definite help with the scratch of scat rattle roll, who was going to be kind of that target that she was going to have to move into.
Agreed. I felt like the whole complexion of the race changed with that scratch of the 4, setting it up in favor of Artful Splatter. So I was half tempted to use her on top, but I stayed with Kiss the Girl, my top selection for Trombetta. She showed her class level last time out when easily putting away Artful Splatter, who's reopposing in the Geisha Stakes. I think she's got the right running style to lay close here, and she runs into any kind of pace. Even if Artful Splatter gets to the front and doesn't face any pace pressure and slows them right down, I still think that Kiss the Girl is going to be within a tactical reaching position.
Yeah, I agree. She's really hit her stride here. Maybe she does turn the tables on Ms. Leslie. This is a shorter field, but I think this is going to go right down to the wire because I think the flow is not going to be demanding, and they're all going to maybe hook up here. We'll see that battle for the final 3/16. Golden Plume, real quick, Chad Brown, I had lined at 8. Probably might have had her a little bit high, but she hasn't gotten through the 8 other than condition. But a little stat with this kind of move, if you're in for the stats, Chad Brown, the last 3 years on dirt, he's 6 for 10. Second off of a 45 to 180-day layoff going sprint to route. Okay, so you should still get a little value off of her. And I know Frost Point is scratched, but if you want to key horses, that horse that beat her last time, Primacy, did move up again and beat Frost Point the other day. So maybe she just needed that last and jumps up. I still think you're going to get an okay price on her.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Golden Plume will fare. In my
Yeah.
book, she has to run a little bit faster than
She
has
does.
in the past.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. Chad Brown, very strong when he brings runners over to Laurel. 5 from 15 in Stakes Company, 33% winners as well. So just add to the better stat that you already gave
There you
out
go.
here. Race number 7, the John B. Campbell mile on 16 for 4-year-olds and upwards. I landed on Working on a Dream. Let's look at his last race, the Robert T. Manfuso, very appropriately won by Codemaker, who's bred by the man with the stakes race named after him there. But Working on a Dream led with Always Mining, who backed up. Codemaker sat away from the pace, and I think that's what helped him out. But look who he's been bested by in his last 2. Codemaker and a Codemaker. Now, Codemaker is running later today in the Grade 3 General George. And I feel like Working on a Dream can try and do something similar like he did here. Slip through on the rail, stay up front, and hopefully hold on till the wire.
Yeah, he looks, like if he wants to go right to the front or lay off a Galero, he can. He's just hit great form for Robin Graham. Tremendous training job right now. She is done with Working on a Dream. Forest Boys getting the most out of this runner. He's relaxing. He's finishing. You thought before maybe he's a horse going to go up and just back. No, he doesn't mind a little bit of a fight up there. So these two could slip away. It'll be interesting if they slow things down a little bit. Both are stayers. The 1 and the 4. We'll see if that holds true today, if they kind of hook up 3/8 and just carry their own little battle to the wire.
Yeah, I think Galerio's really hit his stride for John Salzman Jr. and is becoming very dangerous, very fast. But you landed on the number 2 for Warren. Now, looking at this, I thought perhaps this is on the shorter side than his ideal distance. But if he turns up at something near that career best at 98 figure, he's going to be tough.
I'm going to need some help. The trainer is a little bit of a guess. Sometimes these horses run awful. Sometimes they jump up and run like world beaters. This guy, his last 4 are okay. And I'm going to give him a little excuse. January 22nd, look at the races, Aqueduct. He was outside, looked like you didn't want to be there. Speed just kind of carried. The winner runs off. You see the first 2. They're just leaps and bounds in front of everybody else. But you come back, 98 at 42 to 1. Plus, he's got Lacey's coming back on. And then he runs okay in a big field against Cordmaker, Working on a Dream, only beating a few lengths. He can jump up. If things get a little bit honest up front, he's got a chance to jump up and get it done.
Look,
just looking for a little value there, and there's the guy that I kind of land on.
Got to go with some value in these ultra-competitive fields today. Let's start with the first of our graded stakes events here. The Grade 3 Barbara Fritchie, 7 furlongs of distance, fillies and mares, 4-year-old and up. And let's start with your top selection, Glass Ceiling. We'll look back at her last race, the 3 other than an Aqueduct over 7 furlongs. They went off quite decently, the 2 of them in front, which isn't Glass Ceiling, but Oksana and On Cat, before slowing them right down. And that's what we're seeing here. Glass Ceiling now making that move to get away from them, get out of that pocket that she kind of was forcefully put in when they backed up. But look, Dylan had lots of horsemen taking her 3 wide. Here kind of comes the moment, is she going to do it, right? And then goes, nah, I've got this, and she clears.
Yeah, she just kind of levels off and goes and gets a little assist from the rider of the 5. Just kind of let her out of that pocket there right around the turn. She could have been boxed in for life. She was able to get out, get in the clear, and she rolls away up closer to that quicker pace. She's back. She's another one. Like Working on a Dream. Where all of a sudden did this form come from? I'm hoping she can bring it to Maryland. She's shown obviously up in New York. She's doing fine. She's won 3 of her last 4. The only horse to beat her in her last 4 races with a Brad Cox horse that just galloped into 3 other than. So, yeah, she comes back. Her position is good. I think she'll get that stalk and pounce kind of trip again today. You haven't seen this trainer with a horse in Maryland since 2017, and that was a winner. If I'm not mistaken. Absolutely, that filly,
I'm pretty sure this is also the reason that Dylan Davis is here today to ride Glass Ceiling here in the Grade 3 Barbara Fritchie. Look, I was flicking back and forth between Glass Ceiling and Jakarta. Now, I know she's done a lot of traveling, but I saw her in the barn. She looked relaxed. Tana, the assistant trainer, as well as Michael Tormetta himself, were saying that she takes to her traveling well. Ran incredible in that Mrs. Klaus Stakes at Parks, then held her own against a tough field in the Grade 2 Inside Information. And Michael Tormetta was saying, I asked the connections of just one time, Draper Badcrux, are you guys going here? And they said no, so he was very pleased with that, so she doesn't have to run against her. I think Jakarta's got the pace here to try and get to the front, and she doesn't back it up. She really, really tries to the wire. So I'm going to say that this is probably one of her last races of her career before she goes to the shed. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good one for her and she gets that graded stakes victory.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too much surprise if she got it done. I don't think it's going to be easier for her, but she's got a good draw. I think looking at her style, she's got that speed. Will anybody else just try to go from her inside? So she'll get a chance maybe to catch her breath, relax a little bit, and then it'll be Carrasco up to him to say, okay, 3/8 pole, now how do we take it from here? And try to separate from a horse like Glass Ceiling. If she brings that normal kick, she's going to have to be prepared for it. Yeah, I throw in the one Fiat Esprit. I liked her last time. She was hammered down at the windows, just lost all chance at the break. But, man, did she run sneaky good. She made a long, prolonged run from the 3/8 pole up to about the 3/16. It just flattened out. She's sharp. Jerry Robb factor again. Inside speed. She's going to make Jakarta work for it around the turn.
I think she will as well. I know Xavier Perez very, very high on Feed Esprit's chances in here. And like we mentioned, Jerry Robb Bond couldn't be hotter at present, winning with 3 out of 4 yesterdays. And Feed Esprit, hometown advantage as well. She relishes it here. Her 7 career wins have come right here at Laurel Park. So running from the back of her stable. Race number 9, graded stakes race again. The grade 3 General George. 7 furlongs the distance here. And let's go to a video spotlight here of Air Token. He's drawn towards the outside. He had an inside draw that day in a 300M, which was not ideal, but he came up rallying from behind them. JD let them he let him settle a little bit, get his legs underneath it, moved him up wide to eyeball the others. And I thought Air Token really, really showed his class. Now, Baratri was second, came back to win with a 95 buyer next at Laurel recently.
Yeah, they got a great trip here. And how can you not be a fan of some of these horses, right? I mean, Air Token, Cord Maker, Air Token, a claim for, maybe 16,000, I think, way back.
10,000, summer
10?
2020.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
And man, and he's shown to be able to handle any distance. Can he run this race back? Because I think he's going to have to. That was a really good effort. He was running hard to the wire. He probably has a little bit more positional speed than Cordmaker, so maybe he gets the jump on him. Certainly, I think he's a player right back.
I think he is going to be a little bit more forwardly placed than Cordmaker. I am hoping that Cordmaker gets that elusive graded stakes victory today. But Ronnie Jenkins, as well as Victor Carrasco, as well as I guess most of us, are a little bit worried that 7 furlongs on the sharper side for this 7-year-old runner.
Yeah, interesting. They got the work, the 3/8 work. You see the bullet in 35 and 2. Maybe sharpen him up a little bit. But he has a turn of foot. We talked about it the other day. When the horses kind of things slow down, they progress and they run faster without even knowing they're really doing it. He reminds me, I talked about it the other day, Paige McKinney, a little bit with his running style. Now, I think Paige McKinney's version of George had a lot more speed maybe signed on and ran into it. But he's so consistent. That's the thing. A couple of these other horses, you're kind of looking for them to jump up and run that bigger. He just brings it every time. What do you think of the pace? Do you think the 4 just goes ahead and clears, or do you think maybe he gets a little company? Because I'm wondering what the tactics of X-Man are going to be with Threes Overdue, who has shown speed, and he's had 2 bobbles the last 2 starts.
I wondered about that as well, because if you look at the projected pace, Threes Overdue has shown capable of getting to the front. But like you highlighted, in his last 2, just perhaps a little bit overly eager. Still got the job done in Dave's Friends Stakes coming from behind. Now, knowing Xavier Perez, I think if Threes Overdue breaks and he gives him that early speed, he's going to take it up and he's going to put him in there. Question mark is what's Threes Overdue going to give him? I would love to see Sir Alfred James have some company so that pace develops. I think that would be beneficial for Cordmaker. But I'm wondering too how strong it really is going to be.
This run to the turn really could dictate it, because you're right. Threes Overdue is fast. And Gary Capp's got 2 horses in here, Shaq Queen Keen as well, who looks like he wants a little bit of help, some speed to target, maybe a little duel to go on up there. But interesting, Sir Alfred James comes back quick, but he is certainly capable and best. And he's handled pressure up on the front end as well. So it doesn't think that he has to clear. He's fought tooth and nail on the front end in the past. So a good race here, competitive race. Obviously, the fan favorite, Cordmaker. Yeah. The betting favorite will be Cordmaker, but from a betting standpoint, you want a little more value.
Yeah, well, fan favorite will also be Cordmaker. Everyone's been following his career. Wonderful performer here. 2 phenomenal graded stakes races coming your way later today. The nightcap is race number 10, 7 furlongs the distance. Nickel Claimers will run through this pretty quickly before we move on to lightning round. Congress Hall for trainer Marius Ray Jr. terrific form in his last two, over and a mile 16. I think he's sharp enough to use the cutback. I think it's going to just pronounce his close even further because
Yeah.
he likes to hang back early anyway.
Yeah, settle back, right? This field, I mean, there is a little bit of speed from the one archer sensation, Danny Deepcuts, I think will stay around. He stayed better than I thought last time, made a little move into it and kept on trying. So, yeah, Congress Hall looks like he should or she should be right into the mix. She broke my heart last time. I thought she was a winner, top stretch. Yeah, I guess the Strangers to 7. You know, you look back, the blinkers come off. Looked like she was okay on the turf. I don't know what's going on with her now, but
Yeah.
you know, just kind of that stranger that might just jump up out of nowhere and run a big race. 6.572 in the nightcap.
Yeah, I go 6.257 for me as
Okay.
well. But keying around the number 6 Congress Hall as we move along to the final part of this show, lightning round. For winning tickets, $27,000, give or take. Two huge price horses in the last two legs. Drill-O-Matic at $67.60, and no, excuse me, that was the $39.40 winner, and then a $67 winner with Bender at Santa Anita Park in that final leg. Look, we keep saying it. This is the kind of wager you want to be a part of.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at yesterday, you're kind of cruising along, and then, boy, you kind of got sucker punch there in the last two, $39 winner, $67 winner. But, you know, that's what makes the bet great. The payouts are always good with the Stronach 5. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, you have 5 winners. They were able to sniff it out, those couple prices at the end. So, congratulations to those who took it down.
Absolutely. In the banner day yesterday, that is meant to say triple, TRPLE triple. Perez and Rob teamed up. 3 out of 4 runners got their picture taken, and the final runner was second. We've been highlighting it before. This is the number 8 California Bella, who runs them off them feet, basically. Very, very tenacious late, much to best. And that was the 3rd win of the day. We had Forget About in race number 1, Mama G's Wish in race number 4, and this was race 6. And then Jack gave back a strong second in the final race.
Yeah, Jack gave back second. I love the debut of Forget About It. First-time starter, got off a little slow, made like 2 moves into it, then got through to win. I mean, just firing again. And these horses we talk about, that's what I love about No Guts, No Glory, what they're able to do. They're not spending trillions of dollars on these horses. I mean, they're raising these horses or finding value in them at sales and moving them right on up. So you got to give credit where credit is due, and they definitely deserve it right now.
Absolutely. They've done an incredible job, especially with these fillies and mares.
Yeah.
I feel like the Rob barn has really got them firing on all 4 cylinders. Now, as for today's wagering opportunities, we've got a couple of promotions coming your way, including a full card money back special. So if you bet up to $10 on a runner to win, and they run second or third, you get your money back. Now, that's kind of like playing with free money.
Little free play, absolutely. So if you like that, you know, that horse is 6-7 to 1, and you're now jump in, bet your money. Hopefully the horse hits the board. You know, if it doesn't win, you're on second or third. You got another try coming right back up. Wheel it right back.
And this is a terrific day to do so. Go to first.com/bets/promotions for more information. We have $10,000 in hidden split bonus on a variety of sequences as well. And talking about wagering, our sister track, Santa Anita Park, will host a mandatory payout tomorrow, Sunday, February the 20th, on the Rainbow Pick 6. Now, pools expected to exceed $5 million on the day. So, you know, aside from looking at today's card and having a fun day, maybe keep an eye out for what's going on tomorrow.
Yeah, might have to take a little look at that Rainbow Pick 6 and hopefully find a couple strangers that kind of, you know, eliminate a few players and kind of line our pockets. We'll see.
That concludes the morning show for us too. You'll be back in the afternoon, joined by Tim Tulloch as well as Calais Francois, and you'll be keeping an eye out on all the proceedings from the top of the grandstand.
Yeah, looking
right?
forward to a really good day of racing. Some really talented runners in store for us. Ice sculpture I saw walking in, pretty cool ice sculpture down at the grandstand entrance. Some other things, obviously, buy your program, get a chance to win one of those prizes, fire up the first bet account, and enjoy the day here with the rest of the gang at Laurel Park.
Yeah, it's meant to be a
Yep.
phenomenal renewal of the General George and Barbara Fritchie Day. Good luck to everyone and enjoy.
You got it.